What's going on, everyone? It's Nick. It's my first upload in a while. Yeah, I've been doing all these lives, but with an upload? Yeah, it's been a while, right? I'm here to talk about some playoff basketball right now. So you can please drop a like. It only takes 1 second, really helps for the YouTube algorithm, so I'd really appreciate that. Also, if you can please remember to subscribe. I'm trying to go live for at least one playoff game a day. So if you want to hop in on my lives, I'd love to have you. So yeah, please hit that subscribe button, and also please hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And I also make baseball and football content on here as well. I haven't done either of that in like at least a week, but I plan to get on that pretty soon. Just right now the main focus is the NBA playoffs. So let's get on with this now. Also, before I go any further, yes, I'm going to be doing some editing. You just saw some right now, but I don't plan to edit this video as heavily as my previous videos, just to save some time right now because I don't have much of it. But let's get going. So first, I want to address the fans. So I'm really glad to have fans back in the arena. I'm really glad to see them being loud and passionate, especially in Madison Square Garden. I'm really happy to see it, but let's please have some boundaries. Like the fan that threw popcorn at Russell Westbrook while he was leaving the game with an ankle injury. And yeah, good job by the security stopping him from making it a second coming of the Malice at the Palace. But I'm not gonna lie, I think that fan deserved that treatment. Obviously the NBA can't allow it, but I wouldn't feel bad for the fan if Russell Westbrook were to beat him up. And the fan that spit at Trae Young, like, okay, like, the Knicks are one of my teams, as you know, but still, spitting at someone is just unacceptable. No matter what the reason is, don't you ever spit at anyone. And Trae Young's been going off, like, hats off to him, and yeah, he's been doing a lot of talking, so yeah, I'd definitely be booing too if I were at the Garden, but spitting at someone is not okay. Ja Morant's parents became victims of racial slurs from a Utah Jazz fan, and yeah, what a surprise, right? You guys have made a name for yourselves for being racist. I'm not going to generalize all Utah Jazz fans, but yeah, Utah Jazz fans, we know your reputation for that, and you glorify a pedophile. And the most recent one, the Celtics fan that threw a water bottle at Kyrie Irving, really? Yeah, Charles Barkley suggested that they should have sent that fan down there and let Kyrie handle it. Obviously they can't, but I would have loved to see it myself. Also, I don't care how drunk you are. Alcohol is not an excuse. I don't care if you're drunk enough to not even remember doing these things. No, there is no excuse for this kind of behavior. So, fans, like, again, I'm really glad to see you passionate and loud. It's good to even have you, it's great to even have you back, but just please have some boundaries, alright? I'm really glad that the fan who threw that bottle at Kyrie got arrested, but I also think that the NBA needs to do something about this to prevent another one of these incidents from happening again before something like a repeat of the Malice at the Palace does happen, and then the players end up looking like the bad guys. Now, on to some more playoff basketball talk. First, I got to talk about the Lakers and Anthony Davis with the groin injury. Yikes. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, from what I hear though, it's not too serious. Hopefully that is the case, because the Lakers are definitely going to need him. If the Lakers have to go without either LeBron James or Anthony Davis, they're done. But you know, I also got to talk about LeBron. Yeah, he scored 11 points in the fourth quarter, but they were meaningless. They were too little too late. And the third quarter, just 3 field goal attempts. Well, okay, you did get to the foul line, so that doesn't count as a field goal attempt, but still. LeBron, when your co-star gets hurt, you got to be more aggressive than that. I understand your ankle's hurt, but hey, it's the playoffs. And I understand, short off season, you're 36, but no, let's not go down that road. We're not making excuses. You got to step it up. You're the leader of this team. You're in the GOAT conversation. You got to do better. I don't care who it is. Like, I know I made this very clear on here before that. I don't care who it is. I'm holding you guys accountable. And even if you're hurt, hey, you suited up to play, so you got to do better. But I'm not just going to put all the blame on LeBron. Like, yes, LeBron deserves blame, but it'd also be foolish to put all the blame on him. Let's start with Kyle Kuzma. 7 of 29 for this series. That's not even a good batting average. Like, I've given you so much praise for much of this season on both ends of the floor, but this series you've really been stinking it up. And Dennis Schroeder, you want that big contract, right? Well, you need to do better. Games 2 and 3, you did really well, but this latest game, Game 4, yeah, just terrible. Now, it is also unfortunate for the Suns that Chris Paul hasn't been healthy, and Jay Crowder, well, okay, he finally played well in Game 4, although the first 3 games he was terrible. Okay, before I move on, I'm just going to say Lakers really need to win Game 5. And hopefully AD is good to go for Game 5. Because if he's not, then yeah, it's the Suns series to lose. Now on to the New York Knicks, my other team. They're already down 3-1. And Julius Randle, you're the franchise player, right? And hey, I really like you, okay? I really do. But play better, please. I've followed your career since day one. Your most improved player was well deserved. Congrats on that, by the way. And I remember watching your NBA debut when you broke your leg. Like, I've followed your career since day one. And also, I was really happy to see how far you came during the regular season, both as a player and as a leader. And I've been saying it all year that Kobe would be so proud of you. But in these playoffs, you really stunk it up. You really want to be that franchise player? You got to play better. You may be caught up in the moment, but hey, you may be your first time in the playoffs, but you know what? It is for Trae Young as well, and also for Ja Morant. So no excuses. But since I mentioned Ja Morant, yeah, I really wish I got to live stream that Game 3 with the good attendance, unlike the game I tried to stream today. That was a total doozy, which is the Clippers Mavericks. But I know Bad Dog did that game, the Grizzlies Jazz game. I did watch the second half of that game, but alright. Just going back to the Knicks though, the offense has been abysmal in this series. That's twice in a row that they scored under 100 points. And Reggie Bullock put up a donut in Game 4. RJ Barrett, at least he did better in Game 4. He scored 21 points. Although only 4 points in the fourth quarter. Derrick Rose has been the only consistent Knicks player on offense in this series. And Obi Toppin, I would say, he's been pretty good in the minutes he's gotten. Alec Burks played really well in the first 2 games, but the last 2, not at all. Emmanuel Quickly also put up a donut in this game. Like, Knicks offense is just bad right now. So here they are now, down 3-1. They're in trouble. At least games 5 and 6 are at home, but if you did bet on the Knicks in this series, yeah, I imagine you are on pins and needles. And hey, I was expecting the Knicks to win this series, but I'm really close to taking an L on that. In fact, I probably will take an L on that. And okay, I tried to go live for the Clippers Mavericks game. That was a doozy anyways, but I guess, do you guys just not care if I go live? Like, is that not interesting to you? Because if it's not, then okay, I guess I just won't do it anymore, because like, no one showed up for this one. My other lives, like, I actually got not a great attendance, but good enough for me to have some fun with you guys. But like, no one showed up for my Clippers Mavericks live stream. And also the Wi-Fi didn't cooperate with me either, so it was just a total failure. That's why I took it down. It was just not worth it. Not worth the stress, not worth my energy when both people weren't showing up and the fact that my Wi-Fi just really ruined everything. Like, well, people not showing up was one thing, and then the Wi-Fi was the icing on the cake for totally ruining the experience. But anyways, about the series itself, I have to give the Clippers their due credit. I thought that they were done once they went down 2-0, but they swung back. I thought Ty Lue did a terrible job preparing, but he made the right adjustments in Dallas. There's still adjustments I think he should have made earlier in the series, but he made them, and the Clippers are back in the series now, so I'll give Tyronn Lue credit. I'll give Tyronn Lue some credit, but he's still at fault for the first 2 games. But if the Clippers do actually win this series, we can forget about that. So those adjustments being that he sat down Zubac, although he put him back in when the Mavericks brought in Boban. And yeah, Rick Carlisle clearly did that so that the Clippers can bring in Zubac and the Mavericks can target him again. And Zubac did foul out. But also another thing, another adjustment that should have been made sooner, but it was made, and it's been a big part of the Clippers turning this thing around, is giving Patrick Beverley's minutes to Tyronn Lue and Terrence Mann. Because they made such a difference on defense. And yeah, playoff Rondo, yeah, we know that's still very much a thing. And Rondo has been the veteran leader that the Clippers have always needed. And Patrick Beverley, you know, he's just not the same player he used to be anymore. And another thing that Tyronn Lue did in this game was going small to start the game by having Nick Batum start at the 5. And I also got to give credit to Kawhi Leonard. He's been going off right now, and he did last year too until the biggest game. Continue to do this, but for now, yeah, Kawhi has been excellent, and even the first 2 games I definitely can't fault him for. Well, maybe stepping it up on defense a little more, and same with Paul George. Like, I can't fault him for even the first 2 games. Like, yeah, of course, the 2 of them could have done better on defense in the first 2 games, but they're still at the bottom of the list for who's to blame in those games. And although Paul George didn't have the best second half in game 3, he still scored 29 points. And also, in this game, he was 6 of 16, but 3 for 6 from 3 and played some good defense. So yeah, Paul George definitely not at fault. So now, because of the Clippers' history, I still don't know if I should go back to thinking that the Clippers are going to win this series, but they're back in it, so good job to them on that. And I guess we'll see where it goes from here. And the fact that they even held Luka under 20 points, and I know he has that bad neck, but hey, he's finally not killing them anymore. And even game 3, even though his stat line looked amazing, the last 2 games he's been looking like Shaq at the free throw line. It's been ugly. And he also had some really ill-advised turnovers in game 3, as good as his 44 points might look. So yeah, the Clippers are starting to figure out Luka, and again, good job to them on that. And Kristaps Porzingis, you're 7'3", you're taller than Shaq. Play like it. Stop settling for fadeaways when you have guards guarding you. Post up. Now, I didn't actually really watch game 3 of the Celtics-Nets game. Actually, I didn't watch it at all because I was watching that horrible Knicks game. But Jason Tatum, 50-point game. But then the Nets swung back, take a 3-1 series lead. And I only watched the third quarter of that, to be honest, because that was just an absolute doozy. I really wish I got to watch more of the Grizzlies-Jazz game. I wish I got to live stream that because that was such a great game. But yeah, I knew that the Grizzlies would give the Jazz some trouble, just I'm not expecting them to win this series. Like, even with Donovan Mitchell healthy, I've been expecting the Grizzlies to put up a fight. And in that fourth quarter, like, they even took the lead at one point. But Donovan Mitchell came through in the clutch. And Dillon Brooks has become one of my favorite players to watch since the play-in tournament. Although that last foul was just a really bad foul. May have been a soft foul, but still. You know how I feel about fouling three-point shooters. Like, just contest. That's going to wrap it up for now, so hope you enjoyed what I had to say. Please remember to leave a like. It would really help out with the YouTube algorithm. And please remember to subscribe if you still haven't yet. Hey, I've been talking for quite a while, so you must have enjoyed what I had to say, right? I mean, I'm almost 16 minutes in, at least without editing. And also please remember to hit that notification bell. So, alright, that's all I got. So hopefully the Lakers can go up 3-2 in the next game. Hopefully AD's okay. Hopefully the Knicks can stay alive in the next game. And also hopefully fans can have some boundaries. Because, like, again, be loud, be passionate, but also understand that at the end of the day, this is just a game. And these guys, they're human beings just like us. The only difference is that they're way better at basketball than we'll ever be. Like, they're human beings just like us. They breathe the same air as us, so let's please treat them like people, okay? I mean, okay, you can at least cheer for them to lose while cheering for your own team. Like, when I was in college, we would actually look up the other team's rosters just to taunt them, but we weren't throwing anything at them, and we weren't crossing the line or anything. Like, we weren't saying racial slurs at them or anything. Like, it was pretty much stuff like, you suck or whatever, but nothing that I would consider crossing the line. So, like, guys, like, I know that me saying this probably won't change anything, but just stuff I want to get off my chest because some of the behavior we've seen from the fans has just been unacceptable. But alright, that's all I got. Talk to you next time.